Yo, what up? This is Blaze, your dead homie, and you are watching Interview Under Fire. I hope they ain't trying to feed me some fiery chips, cause I ain't even gonna eat them and go out there and do the damn song. Alright, come on, let's do the damn thing. What do you say?
Blaze, welcome to Texas. This is the first stop on the tour. How's the tour been so far?
Oh man, we've been having a good time and moving straight through. Had a lot of real nice shows, but the drives have been insanely long. Everywhere we've been, it seems like a 10 or 15 hour drive. Like last night's drive, I think we ended up driving straight from wherever we were coming from. I believe it was Denver. We drove straight from Denver all the way to Fort Worth so we could have a day off in Texas. And that day was mostly like a sleeping day because everybody is like completely dead from driving. Like it's dead drives. Like this is not the first time we had probably a 16-hour drive. We probably had like 7 of them.
So 3 weeks on the tour so far.
Yes.
How has it been?
It's been, I'm still having a good time. I always do, and that's just about tour life. I love being out here because every day something new, every day something different, and you get to see some of the same people and some new people, so that's what's up.
So, you're from Detroit, Michigan.
Yes, sir.
So, question about that, coming to Dallas, is there a different kind of setting you see with the genre that you're in from when you started from like back in the late 90s up to now?
All the way from in Dallas in general, it's a whole different scene because when I started back with the Clowns and Twiztid, when I first started like going out into Dallas, Deep Ellum Live was like the epitome place, and it was just off the hinges. It was so live down there. It was a whole other world. Like I've never seen stuff like this. Like to me, it was kind of close to like New Orleans. The street was packed full of people walking up and down, just bar hopping, and then the streets were people cruising with just sweet ass cars. And I mean, it reminded me a little bit of Detroit, like because we have a strip down Gratiot where people used to cruise down Gratiot with their cars and shit, and the same type of thing, but they didn't have as many people out on the blocks because the weather was so beautiful. So like out here, it was like Deep Ellum was a spot, and then I think we played Deep Ellum Live, maybe we played a couple places down there, and it was just, that was very memorable to me. And then years later, it started changing. We would go out of there and it'd go like, why aren't we at Deep Ellum? Well, that area changed. And then sure enough, resurgence again. Now it's back again. You can go down there again and it's live again. So it's very crazy. It's like, things just happen and they go in a circle and then they come back. So I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in Dallas in general.
I mean, speaking of a lot of great stuff you've seen, and you've been doing this for a while. Do you still get nervous before a show? Any pre-show rituals that you do that are different from maybe when you first started off?
No, I think I try to stay kind of the same with it, and I have a feeling on stage where if you start thinking about what you're doing, then it kind of just, everything goes, I've had it happen before, it just goes awry. You're like, oh man, you lost your train of thought, you lost everything, so you just, to me it just comes natural, so you just go out there and just do it, and it's kind of what it is.
You got a favorite gig you played so far?
So far, like, life-wise?
Man, just at the top of your head, just what's the first thing you can think of?
The craziest, probably, oh man, that's tough. I love just going to Australia. It was awesome. Just going.
Australia?
Yeah,
okay.
I went to Australia, and every day it seemed like we were on a plane, and I think one day I wasn't, and I had a day off, and it was in Sydney, and it was cool, but every place there was just so, just culture shock different. Like you're out there, you're like, whoa, they don't really have guns out here? Like, no, okay, this is kind of crazy. And then, they call Burger King Hungry Jack, and then, all the koalas got, syphilis, and you're like, what the hell, this is kind of crazy. And yeah, it's wild, but that was a lot of fun because it was my first time just being out of the country. And I'm looking forward to next year. I'm going to England, so I'm hype about that. So I'm going to Manchester, I believe, or somewhere over in that area.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I'm finally gonna get out that way. It's like one day I hope to get to Japan, but yeah, I like I said, every place I like to treat it like the best one, like every show. So, and it's hard for me to say this is the best one, this one, because every one I do, I feel like that's the best one. It's like I try to do the best for each one, each upcoming show.
So I wanted to talk about, before I talk about Majik Ninja Entertainment, what was your favorite part about touring? Like, I know you're going to be going into different countries next year, but I mean, you just came back. You came up from Australia for crying out loud. You know?
My favorite part of touring is meeting people out on the road, just meeting new people, new faces, and like places, just seeing new places, because every place is different. When I came up, it seemed like that was going out of the city was tough first, and first and foremost. Then even thinking about getting out of the state. And then it's like, oh, now you're going to multiple states. It's like, so everything was head blowing when you first started. And now it's like, I don't want to take in everything I see when I get out here. That's kind of what it is.
Sure. All right, so working with M&E, what are some differences, or how should I word this, that you've noticed from past labels such as Psychopathic Records?
I mean,
If you have seen it.
I wouldn't say, I don't want to say it's as good or bad differences, but there's freedom, control maybe a little more in what I do, which is, I can creatively control a lot more of what I do.
A little more freedom, I suppose.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. It's just, it's free to build how you want to build, and that's kind of what it is.
Okay.
Well, that's the only thing I can really, relate to what it is.
And speaking of which, Zodiac Imprint, Triple Threat, Drive-By, any talk about new projects with these groups?
A possibility. There's stuff on the table for Zodiac Imprint, and I've been kind of waiting to put it because it's just a time connect between me and ROC. So I started something, we pushed it to him, and then me and him pushed back with each other with the stuff with the music, and then now it's kind of like waiting on me to get back onto it. So it's like it's on my the ball's in my court, and I got to get moving on it. And it's just.
Bro, I'm just saying, when the ball's in your court, I mean,
it's close.
you have that freedom, but it's like, where can I go from here? It's
because I'm moving.
I'm
moving a lot of different things. So it's like when you get to this, right? When it's like creative control, freedom. There's multiple ideas that have come with me and him, even for Zodiac, and it's gone through multiple different ideas of what it's gonna, for the next record. So it's kind of what it is. It's like we record, and then we pass it back, and we record, and we pass it back, and we record, and it's kind of what happens with it.
And you just released your 7th studio solo album on October 4th.
Yeah, it was. It's kind of a
Graveyard Greats.
It's a mix of a few new tracks and a bunch of unreleased, or a couple unreleased, and a couple stuff that you couldn't get before. Like you can only get it one time. So it was a lot of stuff that's just rarities.
And speaking of rarities, you work with Prozak, ABK, and Jelly Roll. Have you worked with Jelly Roll before this record?
No, this is the first time.
How was that?
I met him before a few times, and he was a great dude. So, it was like, just working with him was natural. He's just an awesome guy. And, just had a great, man, he killed it. Like, to me, it's like he killed it.
Anything you might play out there, like any new
possibility, maybe a little new, a little different, little stuff that people ain't never heard from me.
Do you have to change up your set list maybe now?
I try to.
You have such a broad.
I have so much stuff that I try to keep. It's tough because when you take certain things people want to hear off, then they get upset. Like, why did you play my song? It's like, well, I gotta, So there's a few things that I try to, are classics that I try to keep and roll with them a little bit, and then I try to keep adding new stuff to the sets, change them up.
Okay, so I got to talk about this because I'm a metal fan.
Okay.
Your Pantera walk cover. Yes. Explain that to me. Are you a fan of metal also? I want to ask you, start off where that influence came from.
It's very tough because I think for the longest time, and I've told people this before, as a rap fan and a rap head, I think growing up and where I grew up at, it was kind of like look down upon some of the things when you look at other music. Oh, if you're a rap head, then you can only listen to rap, or you're only, you can't listen to this. Well, when I came up, I think I hung out with more of the grungy kids that were everybody, that we listened to everything. So I kind of listened to rap, and then this kid listened to metal, and this kid listened to grunge, and this kid, so we had a big posse of different weird people. And so I kind of just banged off of them, listening to that. But I fell away from that for so long that I missed a lot of Pantera era, a lot of music that I was just fully unaware. I knew it was there, just never listened to the music, because I was like, I'm so much engulfed in rap now, I should be listening to everything rap. And so when I finally did get a chance to go back and listen to stuff, this is one of the first songs I was like just blown away. And just it kept sticking in my head, and I just kept replaying. And it was like, man, I think I love this song. Like, this is the right shit. And it's exactly what it was.
You're in Texas. I mean, this is where Pantera was born. So it means a lot. Like having a cover like someone like you, actually.
That's awesome, bro. For real, it's so sick.
And it's interesting that you're talking about playing metal. Mm-hmm. What's the most common denominator between rap and metal? It's new metal. That was man. That came out like in the early '90s with talking about Anthrax and Public Enemy came out with that, and then now it goes a long way with coming from a metal band hearing that. So we appreciate that.
No, I mean for real, it's like you don't realize there's a lot of influences between all this stuff. Like there's rock, from Alice Cooper, Kiss.
Yeah.
There's there's influences from this from years ago. I mean, these people grow up on the same type of stuff too. So.
You got a favorite metal band?
Man, I'm telling you, it's tough because Black Sabbath is one of the first things my brother is 5 years older than me, and he introduced me to this, Judas Priest, and a lot of shit that was just like, to me, that was the epitome of the stuff. So it was like, as soon as Ozzy's gone and Dio's in, it was a whole different change to me. I'm like, oh man, this is weird. So I was so, that was my first choice. Like, I'm gonna go do some Paranoid.
There you go.
Killing Ozzy, bro. It's like, I used to, that was some of my first influences and
So maybe we could be expecting some more covers?
There's a possibility. I've thought about doing some different things and just different weird genre stuff like that, and I've gotten some people who are like, yeah, you should do it, and then some people are like, man, that was kind of weird because you're a rapper, dude, stay in a rap. It's like, I've tried to toe the line all that shit, just gangster rap, but horror and wicked. So that's kind of what I am.
Hey, don't be afraid to cross genres.
That's my whole thing.
Cooper's still doing it today.
I'm still working on it. Like I said, there's still, that's what it is. It's like, to me, there's so much cool stuff to it. And it's the beats, music, I've loved Slipknot for years, and maybe people don't know that out there, but I like them.
Shout out to Slipknot. We could go on forever.
I listen to a lot of listen to a lot of music. It's just people don't, it's like, to me, music is mood, and sometimes I'm in a mood to listen to this, and this will make me feel this way, and then this music might make me feel this way on this one. And I feel sometimes when I make music, I do the same thing for somebody's mood. You might be feeling a mood to go out there and kick somebody's ass. We'll turn on a Blaze song, go beat somebody's ass. Whatever it is, or work out to it.
All right, so I gotta ask this: if you could collaborate with any other artist of any genre that's alive today, who would it be?
Oh man, that is so tough, because right now I am listening to some crazy classic music, but and I think it's for none other reason because of all the movies they're remaking now and shit. And I just heard it's weird as it sounds, they just remade that Elton John, and I've been listening to a lot of his old shit. I'm like, that dude is a genius. And then Billy Joel somehow was playing in Detroit, and I heard his name, and that dude is also a genius. But I would probably say maybe David Lee Roth, because he's crazy as hell, and that guy's a psycho, and I could see him on stage just doing the kicks, and he'd probably kick me in the face, and I'd fall down, and then get back up, and be like, great kick, David. I'm just throwing weird shit.
You're all over that. Like, we could go on this forever.
I just love to throw weird shit, curveballs to everybody.
All right, I'm going to throw you a curveball here, all right?
All right.
Ready for a serious question? All right, we're going to get serious here. If Billy Obey Lee Carver and Joe Black got into a street brawl, who do you think would win and why?
Ooh, that is tough. All right, purely because, and this is going to be purely because one of these gentlemen shares a birthday with this guy right here. He's gonna win. He's gonna be the winner. Joey Black. Joey Black wins by default because he tries to stop it by doing dabs with everybody. He dabs them all out, and now the fight's over. Joey Black wins.
All right, man.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out.
I think that was the perfect explanation why you would win. No one could have come up with that.
There you go.
All right. What could we be expecting from the Dead Men come 2020?
I am working on brand new shit. I'm working on a new record that I have not fully finished, but I've been dropping music like basically lately to social media type stuff, Spotify's and iTunes and things like that, and the latest Graveyard Greats. And now I'm gonna start sitting back in the studio and actually putting together a record. I got Astronomicon early in February, and then I'm gonna try to get my ass back on the road one more time to come see you again, and you and you and you and everybody else.
Boys, appreciate it, man. Go crush it out there. Have a great rest of the tour.
I'm glad there was no hot Cheetos involved in this. That's all I'm gonna say.
We could have done those vocal warm-ups if we needed to. But we got it.
It's the Fago lovers heaven, bro. 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 Fago lover, high beast. I'm a beast from the east. Egyptian cotton, white sheets, rock and ride, skate, skate. Fago money, got the Fago power. In an hour, Fago shower, sticky icky, never cower. Red pop, never sour. I want that drink, get pistols and pops. I like that smell, rise to the top. Milk cotton candy, juggalos go to heaven? Hell yeah, it's the Fago lovers heaven, bitch. It's the Fago lovers heaven, bro. 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 Man, get your hand off my Fago, bitch, with your baby humpback whale looking ass.